Welcome everyone to Faded World's Changeling the Lost. Uh, so, how is everybody? Are we feeling cybernetic? Uh,
I don't know what you're saying.
okay, not too bad. A little bit. Um, uh, let's see. You may notice that our illustrious storyteller has foam for hair. Uh, which is probably not like the most relevant thing, but uh, uh, there it is.
Uh, I can't tell time. I'm sorry. I
Oh.
don't know how time works still.
Well, okay, that is very appropriate for Changeling. I mean, uh, uh, perhaps uh, what it is that there's like a weird time slip, and I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. uh, so,
Whoa, there it is. It suddenly
Not a
works.
robot any.
oh, you're back.
Hear you
Okay.
now. Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine that was Discord having some load issues
Yeah.
on that, but I think it's working now.
Yeah. Well, it was my damn fault for being determined to like go ahead and launch the stream when like when it had discarded just started fucking up. Um,
Yeah, at first it was you were the one I was getting the most weirdness from, so I
okay.
thought maybe your stream was interfering. But
No, it was. I couldn't hear what anyone was saying. It was all completely unintelligible.
Oh.
yeah, that's what you and Spook said. So I was like, well, probably just Discord then.
Um,
All right.
but it sounds like the storm has passed.
Yep.
So I that's fine. I'm used to awkward starts. Go figure. Uh, so, once again, how is everybody?
I'm good. My hair hurts.
Oh, yeah, I
Ah,
was thinking that you had mentioned right before we started that you wanted to do like uh, several things in terms of like meeting the courts and such, uh,
yeah.
and leaving us like deciding which ones to join before rinsing. If you
Sure. I think most people probably know as players, but then I think it'll be nice to just have the characters talk it out. But yeah, unless anyone's got anything they want to like do a little boop or any things, should we begin?
sure.
I have one question
Uh-huh.
unrelated to the
Uh-huh.
game. Is
Okay.
there a way I can get this like pop up on top video that happens when I open up the Discord settings to just happen like on my desktop?
Or what you want the chat video to be a
Yeah,
pop-up
to be just
window.
like sitting in my corner of my screen. So I don't have to like switch between Discord and Roll20 to see you guys. So I don't have a second monitor set up just yet. Except my TV, but that's on the other side of the room and pointed not at me. So
Uh, yeah, not that I know of.
I'll have to figure something out for next time. Or during the break. Oh, okay.
Okay, great. So could we maybe just go round the table and just have everyone state what their current goals are, just for both, the audience and my and each other's benefit?
Uh, oh, there they are. No, there they aren't. Uh, I had them written down. Almost completely certain that I did. Uh, does somebody else want to go first to
Sure. My first aspiration is still the same as last time, to get to know Alexander and Paige. Um, I imagine that will probably get resolved, um, because it already kind of got a start last time. Then I had another one that was meet the courts. Uh, that's what I have down. What I mean is, like, I wanted to go to the thing that we're like about to go to. And that's what I put it down as. And then I'm not quite sure what the third one could be. I might think about it, see if I come up with something while everyone else is doing theirs.
so I remember two of mine. Still trying to remember what the third one was. But the first two were get vengeance on my fetch, uh, and scare the glamour out of people. Um, and yeah, there was a third one. I had it written down, uh, but I don't remember. Figure something out.
Well, that's fine. We can, I don't know, discover it together. That's what I usually like to say in these situations.
Play to find out what happens.
So,
For my
had,
part, sorry.
please.
Yeah, so I've got my current aspirations are explore someone's dreams, find out who Rachel thought I was, and fulfill one of Rachel's desires. Is I've moved to the long-term slot because I think that's going to take longer maybe than originally thought, and I've temporarily set aside uh, my established friendship with Genevieve because I've determined that there's more pressing things before we can get to that. So
Cool. Okay. Now, I can't quite recall. I believe, if not mistaken, that you all had resided yourself to a slightly pungent, shall we say, sleeping arrangement, although possibly more safe. Had you all sort of ventured back there yet, or had you just sort of made the decision out of character?
I mean, I think the
I
decision's been made in character as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I think we hadn't shown us walking there or anything yet, but I don't know if there was anything else we were going to do in the meantime. So
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
do think
am
so.
giving you that opportunity now. If you would like to, get a kebab, excellent thing to do late night in Bristol.
right, yeah, especially classic after coming from the pub, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I imagine that after mm, the last session, um, Vasilisa. Like the way I understood it, the Paige and Vasilisa were definitely headed back, and it
Yeah.
seemed like Xander might have been as well,
Yeah.
since there was already someone in your room.
Yeah, I think that I would probably be too busy fuming to like stop off for food. Like, uh, uh, I'd just be focused on uh, going to the pissy but safe digs and
Yeah.
still planning my vengeance. Oh, and I did remember what the third one was, which is reclaim my mortal fortune.
Ah, yes, yes. Which you did, which you've made good headway on.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I'm
So
sort of imagining that we probably got like a pizza or two to go when we left.
mhm.
That would make
Uh, mark off £5 per pizza of your remaining change.
yeah. So I had just marked it as 1 dot of cash.
Oh
I guess I
yes,
could just
sure,
like
sure.
I guess I could just count like whatever the stuff
Yeah,
cost last time as being
Uh,
that.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like we've bought like clothes for 2 people
Hmm.
and now some pizzas. Like, I feel like we went through your.
mhm.
Yeah. It's like 1 dot.
Cool. Well, it's gone. The magic dot is
Yep.
not gone. So as you guys are heading back, I suppose you're not all together. It's still probably quite early, maybe like 11:30 ish, but the streets are quite packed. As you go through Stokes Croft, it's quite rowdy. It seems to only be getting more rowdy as time passes. As you all go down and start to set up your bedding, there's like sleeping bags and stuff like that, and there's areas that are more agreeable, shall we say, more hospitable, that you will manage to find. And as you all drift off to sleep, could you each roll me your weird, please? Just roll a number of d10s equal to your weird.
I do want to ask, so because I think I tried to do this at the very end last time with hidden reality. I could totally find a very nice and fluffy bed in a room and be very surprised by it. So I'm wondering, like, could the could like sleeping in this bed count as a scene? Because it lasts a scene, and I don't know, like,
I
Sure.
don't
I
I
mean,
don't know if it says it anywhere in this game, but I know in Mage it usually when it says a scene in the duration tables, it'll be like 1 scene/hour. If you know,
yeah, but like I feel like if there's nothing happening, it seems like sleeping might be a scene. But
Yeah, I think
anyway,
that yeah, it makes sense to me that you could like drift off within the scene limit of the contract, but then you'd
hmm.
wake up on the floor.
I mean, I
yeah,
could
you
totally do it.
definitely wake up on the floor, in my
yeah.
opinion, because I believe the
Hmm.
duration also talks about when you stop paying attention to it,
hmm
which you're
Yeah, yeah.
definitely not doing if you're asleep.
Yeah, I think it is a wake up on the floor situation. I
Yeah,
mean, maybe you don't know that, but
yeah. I think I think Vasia would do it anyway. And really maybe not completely think that it might go away because maybe it wouldn't in the hedge or something or in
or they just
Arcadia.
haven't thought that far ahead.
Yeah, exactly. That's my rule.
Okay, great. None of you have hideous nightmares, so that's
All right.
nice. Okay, cool. So you
What would it have taken to have hideous nightmare?
I don't know, Brad. That's a good question. Maybe you'll find out one day.
Okay, okay.
If you stay sane long enough.
I doubt that.
Well, once again, we'll find out together. Look at the time. Yes, we're good. We're things are going swimmingly. So yeah, you all, I imagine, are awoken. Are any of you maybe like super early risers? Great, taking that as a no.
Oh, yeah,
I
probably
see
not.
some Brad activity. Are
Yeah,
you
no.
considering that maybe you are, Brad?
Well, okay, probably considerably earlier than I as a person wake up, but
I'm talking like
yeah.
5:30 in the
No,
morning.
no,
No.
that'd be ridiculous.
Cool. Well, yeah. At 5:30 in the morning, dusk is just beginning, or dawn is just beginning to crack. Um, there's like a loud kind of banging um, on one of the doors that's near you, and you hear Helen sort of shouting for you, prompting you to wake the fuck up, is the colourful phrase she uses.
Which one was Helen? Was
She was the one who has the big hollowed out eyes and is kind of like missing the top of her head. She was the one who worked in the cafe. She's friends with the mysterious and powerful Dave. Calypso is the name that she introduced you by, but Rachel outed her as being a Helen.
Okay. Yeah, Calypso, I remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, Paige goes down. I think she was awake before she showed signs of being awake. Yeah, she just goes down.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I like wake up on the floor, just like I guess there's just like slight confusion over that, but I mean there's something happening, so I need to go see what that is.
Yeah, I drift down, and it sounds like I'm not the first one to. So if I am confronting the already open door, uh, let's say we were told this was a safe place, yet some maniac, uh, has awoken me before 6 a.m. What's that?
Well, thank you very much. You're very welcome. You have an important meeting at dawn. Look, I'm not thrilled that there's a 5:30 in the morning either. There shouldn't be a 5:30 in the morning. There should just be one of them in the evening. But there's not. There's one in the morning, and it's my job to make sure that you're awake. So hooray! There's coffee, and she's like holding a mug of like black coffee, and her hands are like shaking a little bit, and she's like smoking a roll up. Do you all partake of the Tesco economy coffee?
Yeah,
It's very bad. There's no sugar or milk. It's just hot water and granulated coffee. But it's got the chemicals in that make you
It's
awake.
got the chemicals.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think Paige takes off. Though I do have to ask, do you think we've been woken up so early as to prevent regaining a willpower from sleeping the night?
No, I mean you guys had a pretty early night. I mean you were in bed
mm.
before midnight, so I'm not
I have
going
2 points
to
of
bust you.
willpower. I spent so much willpower last scene. Forgot about that.
I'll
So
sip the coffee, make a like this horrified face.
Actually, I
Oh,
think Paige
I,
accepts the coffee, but doesn't like actually drink it. Like she just
sure.
holds it.
Yeah. I mean, it's super cold, so you can all like see your breath. Like a lot of the windows are broken, have been boarded up, so like the wind gusts in, and obviously it's like a cold February morning here. Some of there's like a bit of frost on some of the pavement and stuff like that. And Helen kind of turns to you guys. She's wearing her usual garb. But she's wearing like a big, thick, like a high vis jacket, kind of thing that like someone who was repairing a motorway would wear. I don't know if there's an American equivalent of a high vis jacket, but she's wearing one of those like a big chunky one, almost like the kind of thing a firefighter might wear. Anyway, and she is like, "We're okay. It's not very far away." Anyway, so let's fucking go. So yes, you've spent most of your time, you've been in Bristol so far, sort of orbiting around the Stokes Croft area. It's the kind of most, I don't know, bohemian, hipstery, trampy, lots of adjectives you could pick area, and sort of skyline of it is dominated by a large abandoned building that has been abandoned for a long, long time, and that is the kind of the holding of Green Fog. That is where the courts gather, where the various court blessings and such are cast upon, and where a little meeting today on this dawn will be taking place. And here it is.
Oh, so I meant to say as I take that sip of Tesco coffee, saying, and here I thought I had escaped the nightmare realm.
Damn. Like Calypso gives you like a kind of like a do not sass me kind of look, or I mean, let's see how well she's able to articulate this look. How articulate is she? She's pretty articulate. Yes, you do in fact get the message from the look in her eyes of "Don't sass me, young one." Is probably the look that her eyes would convey, or at least the gaping chasms of infinity where her eyes would be. Does anyone else have any sass or backchat on the wall?
Well, yeah, like I think when we stop here, like I'm gonna like poke at Paige.
Paige turns to see the source of the poking.
Yeah, I'm like, and Vazya's just sort of looking at like your arm, and like, and it's just, can you take them off?
You'd be so much hotter without arms. Sorry.
She tilts her head and kind of thinks for a bit. She's like, well, I used to sometimes when that was in someone's proclivities. I'm not sure that I can do it now I've moved outside their influence. I think I may be more solid than before.
Regardless, I would imagine that the tricky part would be getting them back on again.
Yeah, and Vazya's like just nodding, looking very serious, and yeah, mine don't come off anymore either. I tried. Oh.
No, I'll seek out merit that allows casual dismemberment and rememberment.
Very important.
I know there's a Requiem bloodline for that.
Oh my god.
That doesn't surprise me.
I think it's the Carnival Freak Show one. I'm the saddest human being alive. No, I'm not. This is the internet. Anyway, so you are led to the ground floor of this abandoned facility. You can see the dawn light shining in through various holes and openings in the walls. It looks like it maybe used to be like a car park or maybe a factory or something. It's hard to really tell. Any kind of paint has sort of been stripped away, and there's a vast cornucopia of art with definitely, obviously all the street art so far has just been not that thematically linked, but you definitely see you see what's going on here, knowing what you know and looking at these paintings that sort of cover the walls and ceiling and floor. You see the hedge, you see the courts, you see Arcadia, you see like keepers lurking on the ceiling, and yeah, it is quite moving and touching in its own special way. And so, could you each roll just a 1d10?
Huh. I don't know why you keep trying to make your rolls be sorted descending.
There we go.
Oh, I don't know.
Great. So yeah, that is fine. So you see in the center of the sort of wide open space is a small table, kind of like the kind of thing that might be in a school or like a hastily put together startup company. It's just like a cheap sheet table with like the kind of thin metal legs, and there's like the kind of plastic school style chairs placed around it, and there's various cups of coffee and tea on the table in sort of the kind of like white disposable foam cups, and there are four figures sort of stood round, and they kind of like beckon you closer and kind of offer the chairs to you. There's enough chairs for everyone. There's more to spare. It's kind of a bit cramped. The table's not really big enough to like seat everyone, but you manage to kind of shuffle around. So these four figures, one is immediately familiar to you. It is Genevieve from the Full Moon. You also see, as you clap eyes on her, you see further off in the distance, Egbert is kind of, outside in a kind of like a patch of grass, and they're kind of like, they're like eating a daffodil or something like that. And then maybe like pulling a face of displeasure and kind of retching it back out. She's dressed quite differently from last time. She's wearing kind of like a fabulous glittery ball gown with like a suit jacket on over it. Her moustache has been exquisitely curled and styled. Once again, she's kind of like an ethereal waif-like creature with prominent antler-like horns and a tiger's tail, and the hooves of a ram, where her feet would be. The next figure is a quite stern-looking figure. They're quite tall. They're sort of pushing 6 foot. They're quite broad. Their skin is made of what looks to be jade, some kind of green, shimmering, mineral. And they have kind of like strange dreadlocks, also of a kind of weird metal, maybe like it almost looks like copper wire or something like that. Then the third figure is kind of shrouded in a large, thick black coat with a high collar, and there's like a plume of smoke rising up from where the head would be, and occasionally through the smoke you can kind of see a skull with two little motes of light in it. And then finally is an incredibly short, hunched figure who is like an old and wizened woman. And as she turns to you, she's got like a scarf wrapped around her head, kind of like a Eastern European potato farmer. She's got like that exact look to her, like an NPC from Original Daisy. And as she turns, she opens 4 sets of eyes, 8 in total, and they all kind of blink in kind of like a Mexican wave kind of fashion. So yeah, these are the four figures that stands before you, and they all just sort of remain there, silent. Genie kind of like waves enthusiastically, and they kind of beckon you to take a seat.
Oh, it may be too late. Could I have uh, guised myself before going in? It occurs to me that being myself to everybody assembled is not necessarily what I wanted to do.
I mean,
But
yes, I did kind of rush us in just because of my hair. So yes,
okay,
you may
okay.
retroactively. Is that as in mundanely or through use of a contract?
Um, uh, through use of a contract because I want to do it with my means well. Um, I'll, or no, it's just uh, uh, my kissability. Oh, damn it. The whole mirror skin thing. It costs a glamour. It just, I think it just does the thing rather than no. Anyway,
And does it change your mask or your main?
both.
Oh, both. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Oh yeah. And I'm not trying to impersonate anybody in particular. I'm just. Uh, it could just be sort of random changeling.
Did you so cool? Did you have a specific image in mind, or do you just want to be something other than yourself?
Uh, I think.
It's there is a roll. It's spend a glamour and wits subterfuge weird.
Okay. Do I have that already set up, or because it's the thing? Do I like I don't?
Oh,
I will say
for
that.
I don't know if anyone else already figured this out, but when you're setting up like powers and stuff on page 2, if you want to roll weird, uh, you have to for the attribute you type potency is the name of it. It's the same. It's the same attribute for all of
Oh, I
lines.
see. Okay. I'll have to make changes because I have it. I just have it down as weird, and because I hadn't done any tests. Uh, anyway, see if I can. Sorry.
Yeah, if anyone wants to, they can look at my page
Uh,
2 and
I'm just
sort of.
going to allow this, Brad, as my
Okay.
just due to timekeeping issues related to my
Sure.
hair. But yeah, spend a glamour. You are disguised as yeah, you appear other than yourself. Is there any kind of like targets can make an investigation roll to realize your shenanigans? Is there any kind of that flex, or is it just, or are you just good?
Um.
If they have a
It,
supernatural
oh
action
man.
power that would pierce it,
Okay.
it's a clash of wills.
Cool. We'll see if you get what's next. Cool. So do you all kind of like take a seat? Do you introduce yourself first? What would you all like to do?
I think Paige will attempt a like formal-ish, like she'll go up and she'll bow and she'll introduce herself. Like I think it'll be the following, like, she does like a curtsy bow and like, I'm Paige Manet at your, that's Manette. Paige Manette at your service.
I just go and sit down.
And then she'd sit down after that if there's no indication that she should do something else.
Um, I'll. Okay, so I never did describe how I'm looking. Uh, I think just kind of uh, well, God damn it. Uh, I think just I think just reflecting my mood waking up in the squat. Uh, so just like heavily bundled with a hood on, kind of obscuring my face. Um, and just sort of like this uh, homeless person chic, um, and where it shows very gray skin.
Cool.
And I'll
Because you realize as well they will be seeing your mime
Yeah.
It's mean.
is mean. Okay, great.
very
It's
mean.
the same root as demeanor, despite being spelled.
Mm. Great. So, Jeannie kind of like goes to stand up, and she does the thing where like the chair kind of like scrapes on the ground, and it makes like the kind of really horrible grating noise. And she's like, oh, um, hello. Oh, I've met some of you before. Hi, I'm Jeannie. I don't like going first, but I have to because it's winter. I'm the spring lady, gonna be the spring queen soon. That'd be nice. Um, with spring, with the I think with the core of like all emotions, really, of emotionality. Other people, they disagree. They say we're more about like desire and that sort of thing. But if you think about it, emotions are kind of like there are fuel, there are things. So by revelry and stuff like that. Um, we can I'm doing really badly at this. Look, if you want to like actually live again, if you want to live, then join Spring and we'll actually live. Also I have a raptor. He's great.
Oh,
And
raptor. I thought you said
and she kind of
router.
like
I thought she was offering us internet. It's like, I mean,
you got
that's
a router,
got
I
me.
do. It's yeah, and she kind
I
of like
would
looks
absolutely join the
down
court
at
that
her.
offered free internet.
Oh man, we met the raptor.
Hmm.
You did. You met the raptor and Genevieve. Yeah, you had a
Yeah,
wonderful
the
heart to
raptor
heart.
bit me in the ankle.
He nipped you in the ankle. The
Yeah,
nip.
It
true
was
enough.
your own fault.
Nipped
Yeah,
me.
you had it coming. I mean,
If
He's a
it was an
conscientious
accident.
expert. Well, that sounds a bit like philosophy, if you ask me.
Well, okay.
And then next, the Jade figure stands up. They're kind of wearing kind of like smart casual, I guess. They're wearing like a white shirt with like a thin black tie, reasonably smart jeans, and like reasonably smart trainers. They look like it's maybe like call center wear is if any of you are experienced in the ups and downs of casual business wear. And they kind of stand up, and as they do, you really feel the weight of them and the heat of them, and kind of like an intenseness radiating from them. This is similar to the aura of comfort and nurturing and kind of pleasantness that Genie has. It's that same kind of thing, but it's like it's turned up. It's focused down. If you imagine, if you imagine the general feeling of Genevieve refined through magnifying glass, say, to an intense scorch, that is the radiance that this woman puts out. And she takes a moment to clear her throat. She says, "I'm Jade. Uh, I mean, you don't look like you've been much use to me, but if you want to fight, if you're interested in actually fighting, doing something worth doing, then join Summer. That's it. I'll answer your questions later, but I got no big pitch. This is me." And then she goes to sit down. And then the third figure, the gentleman who is the wearing the thick black coat with whose head is a kind of pillar of smoke. They stand up and are like, "Hello there. My name is John. People tend to call me Ash mainly. Um, I've had many names." And as he begins to go on, you feel kind of like a force pushing against you. It's a lot less consistent than the others. The others tend to be more of like a singular kind of vibe, whereas with him, it's kind of like this changing aspect to him, and the kind of plume of smoke that emerges from him. It kind of like whips and changes in various directions as if there were like fierce currents flowing about him, both physically and emotionally. Um, and he continues on saying, I've had many names, John Autumn King, the weirdest man alive, or I don't know if that one's true, but it's a pretty good one. What else? He of Smoke and also Mirrors. A bit wordy that one, but it's quite good. Um, uh, anyway, yeah, my name's Ash. I'm uh, Ash Autumn Prince. Eventually Ash Autumn King once again. I'm a pretty laid back. I think of myself as quite clinical. Um, the way I've always envisioned autumn is sort of a you fight fire with fire. That's basically it all together. That's how I view autumn in a nutshell. What else? I think we have quite a lot of fun, lots of expeditions, that's always highly productive. We're pretty good on the old mystery front as well. Um, I guess I would say, if you got good stuff between your ears and behind your eyes, then cast thy stone upon the autumn ground, I say, and then done. And he takes a moment and sits down very sort of laboriously. And then finally, the tiny figure uh, comes up. She's kind of hunched and she's got like a little walking stick of like gnarled old wood, and she kind of like sort of is a little bit twitchy. Various of her eyes are watching everyone, but all the eyes aren't pointed at the same person at the same time, so it's a little um, uh, disconcerting. And she's like, "Oh, hello there, everyone. My name's Margaret, but you could all call me Nan. I'm the Queen of Winter. It's lovely to be working with you. I've got you for a few more months before it's spring, and I'm going to get good use out of all of you. And even if you don't join Winter, which Nan understands if you don't, Nan is always available. You can come see Nanny and she'll help you right out. I know it's a scary world out there, and it's right to be afraid. It's right to be cautious and afraid and, you know, not do anything untoward. We've all gone through a hard ordeal, and we're very lucky to be alive, and the last thing we want is to go back. So Nan says that smart little boys and girls, smart little puppets, they know how to hide, to lay low, to be tactfully, and as Nan's sort of shrill voice begins sort of radiating through you, you feel a kind of dread, a chill, a tundrad Arctic front rolling up upon you. Her sort of aura that she gives off is like far more powerful than the others, and sort of the air of your breath begins to really be visible. And those of you who had hot drinks there, they are now all cold drinks, no longer warm. And yeah, they are all the various kings and queens of the seasons. I'll allow some like Q&A and interaction with them before you actually be like, I'm definitely joining this one forever, but I have to go do this. So yeah, please talk amongst yourselves. Sorry again for being not able to tell time, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, it's winter for me.
Yes. It's like home, I think. But I'm a little bit confused because I thought that like autumn was generally corresponded to fear. Um,
In the
and
book,
winter
yeah,
was more
autumn is
home
fear,
with
winter is
sorrow.
sorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, true enough.
But winter is
Yeah.
also the one that's good at hiding.
Mm.
So that's probably that was pointing towards. So you might want to clarify with spook.
The
And autumn's big thing also involves the whole like where the magic be. We're the ones that, as he said, fight fire with fire,
I mean,
investigate shit.
like the problem with spring was that, and summer was that they were clearly both delusional.
Delusional?
Yeah, like spring was saying that like if you want to live again, like they just want to like pretend that nothing happened, and summer wants to fight. There is no fight. There's nothing that you could win against. So like delusional.
Yeah. Uh, direct confrontation doesn't sound like the best way to handle our shit. That's for sure.
Though but yeah, I mean that's why I think it's like sort of that sort of thinking. I think it's Vasia's definitely heading for winter.
Okay. So yeah, we'll be back shortly. Please stick around and/or find and click on the second half of this video.
Oh God, do you try